Bible in a Year Live, Chronological Project, Week 16, Day 8, God's Word. Barzillai, the man from Gilead, came from Rogelim with the king of the Jordan River to send him on his way. Barzillai was an elderly man, 80 years old. Because he was a very rich man, he had provided the king with food while he was staying at Mahanaim. The king told Barzillai, "Cross the river with me. I'll provide for you in Jerusalem." Barzillai replied, "I don't have much longer to live. I shouldn't go with your majesty to Jerusalem. I'm 80 years old now. How can I tell what is pleasant and what is not? Can I taste what I eat or drink? Can I still hear the singing of men and women? Why should I now become a burden to you, your majesty? I'll just cross the river Jordan with you. Why should you give me such a reward? Please let me go back so that I can die in my city, near the grave of my father and my mother. But here is Chimham. Let him go across with you, and do for you what you think is right." "Chimham will go across with me," the king said. "I will do for him whatever you want. Anything you wish, I'll do for you." All the troops crossed the Jordan River, and then the king crossed. The king kissed Barzillai and blessed him, and then Barzillai went back home. The king crossed the river to Gilgal, and Chimham went with him. All the troops from Judah and half of the troops from Israel brought the king across. Then all the people of Israel kept coming to the king. They asked, "Why did our cousins, the people of Judah, kidnap you and bring your majesty and your family and men across the Jordan River?" All the people of Judah answered the people of Israel, "Because the king is our relative. Why are you angry about this? Did we eat the king's food, or did he give us any gifts?" The people of Israel answered the people of Judah, "We have 10 times your interest in the king and a greater claim on David than you have. Why then do you despise us? Weren't we the first to suggest bringing back our king?" But the people of Judah spoke even more harshly than the people of Israel. Sheba's rebellion. A good-for-nothing man by the name of Sheba, Bichri's son, from the tribe of Benjamin, happened to be at Gilgal. He blew a ram's horn to announce, "We have no share in David's kingdom. We won't receive an inheritance from Jesse's son. Everyone to his own tent, Israel." So all the people of Israel left David to follow Sheba, Bichri's son. But the people of Judah remained loyal to their king on his way from the Jordan River to Jerusalem. When David came to his palace in Jerusalem, he took the 10 concubines he had left to look after the palace and put them in a house under guard. He provided for them but no longer slept with them, so they lived like widows in confinement until they died. The king told Amasa, "Call the people of Judah together for me, and in 3 days be here yourself." Amasa went to call Judah together, and he took longer to do it than David had given him. David then told Abishai, "Sheba, son of Bichri, will do us more harm than Absalom. Take my men and go after him, or he will find some fortified cities and take the best ones for himself." So Joab's men, the Cherethites, Pelethites, and all the soldiers went with Abishai. They left Jerusalem to pursue Sheba, Bichri's son. When they were at the large rock in Gibeon, Amasa met them there. Joab wore a military uniform, and strapped over it at his hip was a sword in scabbard. As he stepped forward, the sword dropped into his hand. "How are you, my brother?" Joab asked Amasa. He took hold of Amasa's beard with his right hand to kiss him. Amasa wasn't on his guard against the sword in Joab's left hand. Joab stabbed him in the stomach, and his intestines poured out on the ground. He died without being stabbed again. And Joab and his brother Abishai pursued Sheba, son of Bichri. One of Joab's young men stood beside Amasa and said, "Anyone who favors Joab and is on David's side should follow Joab." Amasa was wallowing in his blood in the middle of the road. When the man saw that all the troops stopped as they came to the body, he carried Amasa from the road to the field and threw a sheet over him. As soon as he was moved from the road, everyone followed Joab and pursued Sheba, Bichri's son. Sheba passed through all the tribes of Israel to Abel, Beth Maacah. All the Berites were gathered together and followed him to the city. Joab's armies came and attacked him in Abel, Beth Maacah. They put up a dirt ramp against the city, and it stood level with the outer wall. All the troops with Joab were trying to destroy the wall and tear it down. Then a clever woman called from the city, "Listen, listen, tell Joab to come here so that I can talk to him." He came near, and she asked, "Are you Joab?" "I am," he answered. "Listen to what I have to say," she told him. "I'm listening," he answered. So she said, "There is an old saying, be sure to ask at BIAYL before doing anything. That's the way they settle matters. We are peaceful and faithful Israelites. Are you trying to destroy a mother city in Israel? Why should you swallow up what belongs to the Lord?" Joab answered, "That's unthinkable. I don't wish to swallow it up or destroy it. This isn't the case. A man from the mountains of Ephraim by the name of Sheba, son of Bichri, has rebelled against King David. Give him to me, and I'll withdraw from the city." "That's fine," the woman told Joab. "His head will be thrown to you from the wall." Then the woman went to all the people with her clever plan. They cut off Sheba's head and threw it to Joab, and he blew the ram's horn, and everyone scattered and withdrew from the city and went home. Joab went back to the king in Jerusalem. David's officials. Now, Joab was put in charge of Israel's whole army. Benai, son of Jehoiada, was in charge of the Cherethites and Pelethites. Adoram was in charge of forced labor. Jehoshaphat, son of Ahilud, was the royal historian. Shiva was the royal scribe. Zadok and Abiathar were priests, and Ira, a descendant of Jair, was a priest to David. "O Lord, my God, I have taken refuge in you. Save me and rescue me from all who are pursuing me. Like a lion, they will tear me to pieces and drag me off with no one to rescue me. O Lord, my God, if I have done this, if my hands are stained with injustice, if I have paid back my friend with evil, or rescued someone who has no reason to attack me, then let the enemy chase me and catch me. Let him trample my life into the ground. Let him lay my honor in the dust. Arise in anger, O Lord. Stand up against the fury of my attackers. Wake up, my God. You have already pronounced judgment. Let an assembly of people gather around you. Take your seat high above them. The Lord judges the people of the world. Judge me, O Lord, according to my righteousness, according to my integrity. Let the evil within wicked people come to an end, but make the righteous person secure. O righteous God, who examines thoughts and emotions, my shield is God above, who saves those whose motives are decent. God is a fair judge, a God who is angered by injustice every day. If a person does not change, God sharpens his sword. By bending his bow, he makes it ready to shoot. He prepares his deadly weapons and turns them into flaming arrows. See how that person conceives evil, is pregnant with harm, and gives birth to lies? He digs a pit and shovels it out. Then he falls into the hole that he made for others. His mischief lands back on his own head. His violence comes down on top of him. I will give thanks to the Lord for his righteousness. I will make music to praise the name of the Lord Most High. David and the people of Gibeon. In the time of David, there was a famine for 3 successive years, and David asked the Lord's advice about it. The Lord answered, "It's because of Saul and his family. They are guilty of murder because they killed the people of Gibeon." The Gibeonites were not a part of Israel, but were left over from the Aramites. Although the Israelites had sworn to spare them, Saul, in his eagerness, tried to destroy them from Israel and Judah. The king called the Gibeonites and asked them, "What can I do for you? What should I give you to make peace with you so that you will bless what belongs to the Lord?" "We do not want silver or gold from Saul's family," the Gibeonites answered him, "and none of us want to kill anyone in Israel." The king answered, "What are you saying that I should do for you?" They answered the king, "Give us 7 of the male descendants of the man who wanted to finish us off. He planned to wipe us out to keep us from staying anywhere in Israel's territory. We will execute them in the Lord's presence at Saul's town Gibeah." It was Saul whom the Lord had chosen. "I will give them to you," the king said. But the king spared Mephibosheth, Jonathan's son and Saul's grandson, because of the oath in the Lord's name between David and Jonathan, son of Saul. The king took Armoni and Mephibosheth, the 2 sons whom Rizpah, Ahai's daughter, gave birth to for Saul, and 5 sons whom Merab, Saul's daughter, gave birth to for Adriel, son of Barzillai from Meholah. The king handed them over to the Gibeonites, who executed them on the mountain in the Lord's presence. All 7 died together. They were killed at the beginning of the harvest when people started harvesting barley. Rizpah, Ai's daughter, took sackcloth and stretched it out on the rock for herself from the beginning of the harvest until the sky rained on the dead bodies. She wouldn't let any birds land on them during the day or any wild animals come near them during the night. When David was told what Saul's concubine Rizpah, Ai's daughter, had done, David went and took the bones of Saul and of his son Jonathan from the citizens of Jabesh Gilead. They had stolen them from the public square of Beth-shean, where the Philistines had hung them the day they killed Saul at Gilboa. When David brought the bones of Saul and Jonathan, his men gathered the bones of those who had been executed. Then they buried the bones of Saul and his son Jonathan in the land of Benjamin, in Zillah, in the tomb of Saul's father Kish. They did everything the king ordered, and after that, God answered the prayers from the land. The giants of the Philistines defeated. Once again, there was a battle between the Philistines and Israel. So David and his men went to fight the Philistines, but David became exhausted. A descendant of Harapha, named Benob, who had a bronze spear weighing 7.5 pounds, which he wore on a new belt, captured David and intended to kill him. But Abishai, son of Zeruiah, came to help David. He attacked the Philistine and killed him. Then David's men swore an oath, saying, "You will never go into battle with us again. The lamp of Israel must never be extinguished." After this, there was another battle with the Philistines at Gob. Then Sibbecai from Husha killed Saph, another descendant of Harapha. When war fighting broke out with the Philistines at Gob, Elihan, son of Jar-Arigim from Bethlehem, killed Goliath of Gath. The shaft of Goliath's spear was like a beam used for weavers. In another battle at Gath, there was a tall man who had a total of 24 fingers and toes, 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. He also was a descendant of Harapha. When he challenged Israel, Jonathan, son of David's brother Shimei, killed him. These 4 were descendants of Haraph from Gath, and David and his men killed them. After this, war broke out with the Philistines at Gezer. Then Sibbecai from Husha killed Sippah, a descendant of Haraph, and the Philistines were defeated. When more fighting broke out with the Philistines, Elana, son of Jair, killed Lameh, the son of Goliath from Gath. The shaft of Lameh's spear was like a beam used by weavers. In another battle at Gath, there was a tall man who had 24 fingers and toes, 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. He also was a descendant of Harapha. When he challenged Israel, Jonathan, son of David's brother Shimei, killed him. These men were the descendants of Haraph from Gath, and David and his men killed them.